Come on now. Y'all already know what this is. First things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. By the way, happy 316 because it's a good old Stone Cold day.
Better work
I'm
out my
your
beer.
humble
What?
host, your man, your myth, your legend.
What?
We got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive.
Hootie
And
hoo.
we got the one man and the only man that can check you in to the Heartbreak Hotel himself,
Oh,
the
amen.
Heartbreak Prince.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just a sexy boy.
Man, look, we had a great week of wrestling and it was fire. The last 2 weeks have been insane. So let's go ahead and talk about it with the 3 hours of fire with Monday Night Raw, baby. Really got to talk about it because this week was just insane. Because they was at MSG, and if you don't know, when it happens, when they go to the Garden, it gets real serious. A lot of great things have happened in the Garden. We could talk about times when we seen Shawn Michaels when he came back and won the World Heavyweight Championship at Survivor Series in 2002. We could talk about some other times when we seen AJ Styles also win the United States Championship. Not even on camera. That was actually just a live show. Okay, look. But one main thing we got to really talk about was just 3 hours of heat, 3 hours of fire, 3 hours of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better. And man, I can't lie, this was great because we really kicked off the show with seeing my man, Yeet. Jey Uso starting it off. He faced off Grayson Waller, beat him. Got beat up, got really kind of got tossed around from Austin Theory. Then Gunther comes out and attacks him. That whole thing. That's nothing that's not a surprise. But they're kind of still building up on that. Then all of a sudden, flash forward, we seen, the New Day, which I love seeing, and actually the LWO losing to the New Day. Why? Because of this fake luchador, which they saying that what some people say was Chad Gable, which we found out it actually is not. But he did say a gracias. Same way, if it was just Chad Gable, we flash forward now to Cody. Cody comes out, and now he's pissed. At this point, I mean, I feel like it's been a little long since we've seen John Cena come around. So now at this point, I understand where Cody's coming from. He's just pissed. He's just ready. He's time. He's saying now it's his time to see Cena face to face. He's done with the talking. He wants to see him. Now we flash forward to one of my favorite parts of the show, seeing Rhea, Io, and Bianca. Now, first of all, Io came out. They congratulated her, then they said, well, how do you feel about having Bianca out, and Bianca being out there during the win? Now Bianca comes out and they ask Bianca, so what was the point of you being out there? Of course, Bianca says, well, the reason why is because I'm trying to see who's the opponent that I'm going to be facing at WrestleMania. And of course, Rhea starts throwing some stuff in Bianca's face. We all know what's going on with Bianca, the whole thing with Jade and Naomi. So she throws it in their face. Then Io gets, little personality start just kind of almost dismissing Io. Io don't like that. Io doesn't like that at all. And what happens? Io slaps the hell out of Rhea and Bianca. And it's looking like this might be Io's time for this. Then we flash forward to the steel cage match. Now, honestly, I love this whole segment. And honestly, when it comes to seeing just greatness out of Monday Night Raw, what they've been doing, because the next part, what I love to see was the OTC, the only OTC, Roman Reigns coming back, boy. Now, honestly, he really kind of just yanked Seth Rollins out of there, almost like what some people would say, like Baby Boy. Yeah, with Jody. Yeah, but look at the face of Seth. Seth's just looking at him, just in shock. And what happens? Roman just beats the hell out of Seth yet again. And honestly, at this point, now they start pulling Roman away. They say, nah, stop it. Then all of a sudden, Roman looks over and he sees Paul Heyman helping CM Punk. It was almost confusion. That's to the point I was starting to laugh myself. And I said, well, what's Roman thinking? To the point where Roman actually starts to chuckle, starts to laugh. He starts to think, oh, this is the game. You playing in my face. And what happens? Roman comes right up in there, tosses CM Punk into one side, takes him again, tosses him into the next side. And then what happens? He spears him right there. And what happens? It's just the OTC. Everybody chanting. And this is the finish right here. Man. Now, to be honest, I mean, we want to talk about a couple things that was just gold, just magic. I mean, honestly, seeing Roman Reigns come around for the last 5 minutes is just insane. I mean, it's just as simple as this. We talk about aura, we talk about storyline, we talk about how good is this getting. And to be honest, when I'm seeing this whole thing with this steel cage situation, I know before we talked about possibly, CM Punk, Seth, and Drew. And now it's really looking like CM Punk, Seth, and Roman. And now I'm kind of almost thinking to myself, well, what involvement do they have with the situation with Cody and John Cena? What is their involvement possibly with Roman Reigns, also with his whole situation with The Rock? I mean, honestly, there's a whole lot of storylines that seems like it possibly could be coming together into one. But we'll just see what happens. What y'all thought? What y'all think?
HB Prince is you, brother. We missed you. You got to go first on this, baby. Come on now.
I mean, I don't know where to start. This Monday was just fire all the way around. I loved my two favorite segments, of course, was Io, Bianca, and Rhea. Now I know it's been a couple of weeks since I last been able to join y'all, and since then Rhea, the championship has changed hands. Of course, Io has the belt, which I'm never mad about because Io is my girl. I do like Io Sky. What I loved about this segment here was it was looking like Io was not her presence in the ring with Bianca and Rhea. You was wondering how that was going to go down because they were almost dismissive of Io, and she's sitting there as the women's world champion. And so to see her step up and make her presence known, slapping both Rhea and Bianca, I love the segment. I love what they did there. But I still wonder why they went away from what I thought would be a good money match for WrestleMania between Rhea Ripley and Bianca, because we talked before about them not having the opportunity to go head to head and clash, especially for like the women's championship. But I'm still not disappointed in the sense that we still have Rhea, and it looks like we could get a three-way championship match at the Rumble. So it just kind of makes it that much better for WrestleMania. So it just makes it that much better when it comes to WrestleMania, seeing what they're going to be doing with the women's championship there. And then the Seth Rollins CM Punk cage match. I mean, that was a 5-star match, like quality match they were giving, like a pay-per-view or premium live event type of match that they were putting on. And they were going toe to toe. And it was one of those things where I didn't know, who was going to come out on top here? Who was going to win? And then I started feeling like there's got to be some type of interference in here coming from somewhere. And I was thinking it was going to be Drew McIntyre. But to see the OTC come out after we haven't seen him on television, since the Rumble, or since the Rumble, and what happened at the Rumble, and to see him come out and just destroy Seth Rollins. And then we've been still wondering, because we haven't had the payoff yet with Paul Heyman and CM Punk. And what is this favor that CM Punk wanted from Paul Heyman from when he helped Roman Reigns in the past? But when the camera pans and turns and you look in the ring and you see the wise man comforting CM Punk in the middle of the ring, and you have the OTC himself, standing outside of the cage, and he turns around and witnesses this nonsense, gets in the ring, and it's just mean, man. I mean, I gotta give Booker his credit. That just mean. And I mean, I loved it. Got in there, just destroyed CM Punk. The finish was great. Wise man always delivers, standing in the corner with his hands together, praying like, please, it kind of gives you that Paul Bearer-esque type of feel when I see them like that. But I mean, they just were delivering on this 3 hours of heat, 3 hours of fire. And I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm really getting excited for what's kind of coming together for the WrestleMania season and a WrestleMania event that's going to be happening in 45 days, 44 days from now, whatever it is.
Be here before you know it.
Yeah.
Be here before you know it. Look, it was a great Monday night, and the two nights in general at Madison Square Garden was just absolutely amazing. I love everything I saw. I was very happy with the way they kind of set things up here for the for the next couple of weeks, the next 45 days or so. Jey Uso and Gunther's situation is starting to boil over, where Gunther's really trying to show his dominance, and he's had some really solid matches. That match that he had, and I know we're jumping ahead, but that match he had on Friday in SmackDown with was a certified banger. That was a great matchup. But once again, he shows there's parts of me that says, man, I really want to see, Jey Uso obviously win this title at WrestleMania. That's going to be the biggest pop that you can possibly think of. And I know we talked about it weeks ago, but there's a part of me that says, don't be surprised if the Ring General keeps the title. You just can't be surprised if he ends up keeping the title. I mean, he could go on one of these runs like he did with the Intercontinental Championship, and you wouldn't be surprised. Because he's starting to grow now. Like at first, we were talking about how dry, maybe like it wasn't really clicking. But now his reign is starting to get a different feel. He's coming out here, he talking trash to people. He, during the time frame, he done trash Goldberg and said trash to Bret Hart. But now his trash talking ability, and partially because of the accent, just makes it a little bit more diabolical. I mean, it's something about it that just makes it that more diabolical. So that was great. Seeing Chad, or the gentleman with the American-made luchador mask, come out there, also a fun thing. Io and Bianca is interesting for me because I love Io. I don't have anything against Io, but this feels forced. Like they threw her in the picture. I mean, I know they slowly kind of put her in the picture to make it a three-way match. I personally don't want this. I wanted to see Rhea versus Bianca head to head, no strings attached, just those two. So now that you have Io in the picture, and she has to be in the picture, she's the champ. You can't not have her in the picture. But I just feel like them ignoring her and pushing her to the side, this feels like to me she's going to win that match at Mania. That's my personal opinion. Like, I think she's going to win that match at Mania. Something's going to cause it, and she's going to keep on. Like, that's the vibe that I'm starting to get from it. And, kudos to her. I mean, look, we're not going to take any way away from Io and the ability she got in the ring, because she is a certified beast, on top of having one of the greatest entrance themes in the game. So I don't want to take that away from her, but personally, I just wanted to see Bianca and Rhea go head to head, in this setting. But it is what it is. Tired of Cody coming out. Cody, let's just go ahead and get John Cena here. Let's go ahead and get John Cena here, because Cody consistently coming out and whining and complaining. That all comes in on Monday. So we were finally gonna have heel John Cena, new theme, hopefully new theme music. So we're all excited about that. And last but not least, the triple threat that is slowly but surely developing here. It's gonna be they're starting to be it's gonna be a really interesting road between now and then. But once again, 3 hours of fire, and this time at MSG, just absolutely amazing.
So Larry put on here that Gunther's growth has been amazing, which it has, and Gunther has. I mean, Gunther has always been phenomenal in the ring. So we've known that for forever, from his time in NXT Europe or whatever it was. And then he came here. I mean, he's always been phenomenal in the ring. And what I've always touted about Gunther is his ability to go head to head with the bigs and the smalls and be able to keep up and also make them look good, but also, just be his dominant self. And so we know what we get with Gunther, the package we get with him in the ring, but his mic work over the last year of him being a champion has grown. And so I had this suspicious feeling too, and I'm with you that Gunther will retain the title at Mania. And I'm thinking it will set up for something maybe at SummerSlam when the title will change. That's kind of my sneaky suspicion about it. But the feud and the story that they've started to kind of develop and have between Gunther and Jay has been really good because it's setting up this underdog, Jay Uso. Can he do it? Will he do it? But it's Gunther, and Gunther's just a physical specimen in the ring. And I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a shocker in there at Mania,
right?
And I feel like that's the one. Where Gunther retains.
You know what it has a feel of, E? It has a feel of Cody and Roman disappointment from 2 years ago when we all thought we just knew that Cody was going to win. That's all. Cody's got this.
Yep.
He the champ.
Yep.
And we can't say we were all there together. And we were all just like, wow, he actually won the match. Yeah. Like it's one of those things it just comes over you like, he actually won the match. I feel like we may get that. Now, here's the thing. They don't want Gunther to, lose back-to-back Manias. At least I can't see them maybe wanting to do that, but he is a great heel that can kind of, we can see that he's
still bounce back. Probably.
Right. And they have elevated each other here in the program that they're doing. So I don't know, but don't be surprised if we have they actually didn't let him get the dub.
That moment of silence moment that we had when we thought Cody was going to win, and the whole got quiet when they counted 3 and Roman retained.
Everybody was like, "Wow, okay."
All this time they led up to this, and Roman retains, and then he just continues to go on one of the greatest championship reigns of all time. I mean, that reign of him just. That whole arc of him becoming, the OTC or being the OTC, I mean, it's legendary when you go back and reflect on it. And it's one of those things where now you wonder, like, did you appreciate it enough? Because now, if you notice, we're not seeing Roman Reigns as much on television as we used to. I kind of miss his presence now. So when you see him, like, on Monday, which is probably what they want anyway, when you see him, like, appear on Monday, you get excited. It's hype. And it's starting to have that Brock Lesnar effect or feel of like, okay, he's part-time. When he shows up, it's really going to be for the big shows. He's not really going to be doing this full time anymore. And you kind of miss that whole Roman experience and kind of look back and say, man, I should have appreciated it more when we had it. Because I know there was a period of time where none of us cared for Roman, especially when they were trying to force feed him as the good guy. But when he became the OTC, it became legendary.
The big dog.
The big dog.
Here comes the big dog. Oh my God. Big dog Roman Reigns was a disaster. I'm so sorry. Never was a fan.
Yeah.
Cheesy.
Especially 2018. You don't want to take me back to that time.
No.
Boy.
No.
You don't want to.
Not the sucker and succotash. Not the sucker and succotash.
Glad we got the OTC now, man. I tell you, because
definitely.
Honestly, man, it's really like one of those things when I see Roman, man, especially like when Roman appears on TV, it's one of those things where the crowd is just constantly chanting OTC. Sometimes they can just mention his name for a second and they're just chanting OTC. That man has got the aura. I'm telling you. And it was kind of crazy even thinking about it now. Like, he was only there for what? 5-6 minutes. That 5 to 6 minutes was strictly Roman's complete cinema. I mean, honestly, even that part when he was just standing there, just leaned up, looking, just at set. I thought to myself, man, just everything that he's doing, everything that he does, the movement is so important. And the thing, what he's been doing for the last 4 to 5 years now is what is transcended into just this huge storyline now. And I think even just seeing Roman Reigns just kind of almost put himself to the side, but now we see Cody in this new form of the storyline. Man, I just think it's going to be crazy. I was seeing some stuff a while ago. Somebody had said on this one post, they was like, think about it. All of this is completely in ways connected. Yeah, they're right. The big dog was completely awful.
The big dog.
And in a lot of ways,
you always thought he was having an orgasm.
Storyline. Yeah, I know that. Oh my God,
that was annoying.
We hated that.
Or if it was boss time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's boss time.
Yeah.
Michael Cole, man. Michael Cole, baby.
Hey, still shout out to Michael Cole.
Yeah, shout out to
Michael
Michael Cole.
And
He's doing better now. So much better.
Yeah,
So much better.
They're so much better.
But I seen something on there, and they were saying, like, you think about it, it's all connected. So that's what we was talking about earlier. Like, it's one big storyline, and I wonder because in every way, CM Punk's got some involvement in what happened with either with Cody or with The Rock or even with John Cena. He's got connection to all of them. So does Seth. So does Damian Priest in ways because why? Because he was the one that came after Seth. Well, actually, after Seth lost to Drew McIntyre, and every situation Drew McIntyre has been with CM Punk, and it's like everything. So everything that and everybody that's been in the Elimination Chamber had such an important role in this storyline, and even with Jey Uso with his sideline story, and even with seeing honestly, even with Jimmy Uso, everybody in this, and I'll even say LA Knight. Because if people don't want to notice, he's been having this whole thing with him and Jacob Fatu on the sidelines. So everything that everybody's doing, I'm loving the storylines. I'm loving what's going on with Raw. And honestly, man, look, Triple H, keep on cooking.
Yes, sir. Keep it going. Keep it going.
But since we're talking about people cooking, we got to talk about my man Sean because he is constantly cooking up with NXT, baby.
Always bacon. Always.
Man, so we got to talk about it, man. This was night 2 at MSG. And to be honest, we want to talk about something. Let's even just take it back because apparently there was some pictures that we've seen of Stephanie Valkyrie. She was at the New York Rangers game. And honestly, people was just shocked to see her there. And what did people say? They seen aura. They felt aura when they seen Stephanie Valkyrie. And we're going to get to that a little bit later. But let's go ahead and start it off with the show with NXT. Because Shawn Michaels is constantly cooking up. Give him that chef's hat. Because the Hardys came up and they faced, Fraxium. Amazing tag team match, by the way. It's for the Impact title. So we speculated to see if they were going to win or lose these. And I thought honestly there was a possibility that they might have lost these, but to see that they actually defended their titles, I'm all good with it. So they beat Fraxium, and I'm all good with it. Now we flash forward to Mickie James. Giving some words of wisdom to Miss Parker, saying that it's stand and deliver season. Okay? Look, honestly, in my opinion, it's looking like they're pushing Jada Parker to the moon. And honestly, it seems like I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping maybe we might see more with Jada Parker and Kalani. Still a little bit further. But it seems like Jada Parker is really focused on Stephanie Valkyrie. So we're going to see what happens with that. Flash forward, now we had Jordan Grace. Had a great 5-star match with Roxanne Perez. Got the W. I mean, you can't lie. That already, when you talk about Shawn Michaels with the women's division, he's cooking up. And he's doing great with it. Then we flash forward to the ruler. Femi beating Moose. And what honestly was an amazing match. But that finish, I mean, it didn't look like Oba Femi was about to lose that match, but I mean, Oba pulled it off, and the ruler does what the ruler does best. And he takes care of his yard because that's what the Undertaker told him to do before he walked out of there. So he had no choice but to win that match. Then we flash forward to the man that gets bouncy. That's right, the young OG beat the one and only Ego. Yeah, Ethan Page. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this was an amazing match. It was gritty. It was bloody. It was right. And honestly, I love the match, and so did the crowd. But the young OG got the dub. But all of a sudden, the good old, I don't even know who these guys were that tried to attack the young OG after. I'm just sick of them. Just give me a new group at this point. But then all of a sudden, Eddie Thorpe, he's out there, he does his interview, and Wu comes out. My man, Trick Willy Wonka, comes out there and whoops that trick on Eddie Thorpe. Honestly, man, just finish this rivalry off and just get my man Trick to the main roster at this point because I don't know what we're doing here. Either we're going to finish Eddie Thorpe this whole thing or we're going to get my man back in the title picture for something else because this ain't working. I don't like seeing my man Trick keep doing this with Eddie Thorpe, man. Just get him out of this. And then, of course, winning off the show was Stephanie Valkyrie getting the dub, beating Julia. Honestly, I was shocked. To be honest, I really thought this was going to be a match that was going to end in a DQ because not rarely does it happen when we actually combine titles. So this actually happened. And honestly, I think this is the right pick because when we talk about somebody that's got aura, somebody that's got that star look to him, that's Stephanie Valkyrie. And honestly, I'm shocked to see that Julia really had that short title run, but it's okay. Maybe it's to see. Maybe she's gonna go to that main title picture. Maybe she's gonna go to that main roster. Maybe possibly, or maybe we'll see her get that rematch, and maybe Jada Parker will be that third person to be that triple threat for Stand and Deliver. Possible. We'll see. What are y'all thoughts? What do y'all think Shawn Michaels been doing with him cooking up with the chef's hand?
I'll let you go first, D-Lo.
Oh, you're so kind. Look, there's so much that's been going on, and I once again another great night, and that's I know we go there every week. People probably listen to the show and say all y'all do is talk how good when it's good, it's good. If it was bad, I promise you would hear about it. But so far, there's nothing bad to talk about. The whole NXT landscape is very interesting right now. The NXT TNA rivalry has been really fun. It's been a really good, collaboration so far, but they have to take it to that next step. And how do they do that? Somebody from the other brand has to win a title from the opposite brand. Mm-hmm. That has to happen at least once to me to solidify what they want done here with this partnership. Maybe towards the end of the partnership, it happens and it's a send-off. But they have to do it at some point. Yeah, sending the person to the other brand is cool, but it's almost getting to the point where it's predictable, where you can kind of say, okay, well, they're not going to win a title. They don't want their brand to lose their title, but you're going to have flip-flop. Maybe, who knows, so-and-so wins the North American Championship, and then so-and-so wins the X Division. I don't care how it is. It's going to have at some point, or maybe they go at an angle where somebody has both the TNA World Championship and the NXT Championship, and they're going to both brands, and they're doing something. That's how this relationship has to, if they want to take the next step in the build, in my opinion, that's what they're going to have to do. But it's great so far, but it could be better. And they do let, them win on opposite shows as long as there's no title involved. But I think taking that title, say, hey, give me that title. You just snag it away. I think that can change things just a little bit. Jada Parker is on a mission. I can't see her being, I may not even be able to see her on NXT, but so much longer. I think she will get one title run. Obviously, I don't think they're going to let Stephanie keep both of these titles. From what I was hearing, Julia's hurt. That's why she lost the belt. They want her to recover from injury, so that's the reason why that she, that it was the right time to give Stephanie the titles. If that is the case, I can't see having Stephanie maybe a title defense or two. But this would be a good time to elevate Jada to the North American champion. I don't know if they're going to give her the title yet, but at least give her, the North American championship. Maybe, that's where all roads are pointing to as Stand and Deliver. But the overall of everything, I love what I'm seeing. I would love to see Trick Williams take the next step and move on. I think I don't want to say he's outgrown NXT, but that's what it's starting to feel like. Because other people are coming in and they're starting to grow. And I don't want that to him becoming an afterthought, because you got the Ricky Saints of the world. You got, Ethan, I know has been there for a while, but you got those guys that are fighting for those positions now. And now they're relegating him to, Ethan Thorpe. No. My suggestion, and I've been saying it for a little bit, move him up to the main roster, have him and Carmelo tag together. They, he's starting to get that edge again. They recombine. There's ways you can work it. Maybe that's the Street Profits' next big rivalry. Maybe Trick comes in and test something, but he needs a boost. They both need a boost. Carmelo needs a boost. They both need that next step. And I think that's the way you go about it. But NXT was fire once again. Nothing but greatness. I have no problems. No problems.
Yeah. All I can say is that there was just magic in the garden, man. These last two shows that they've had from the WWE in the garden was just, A1 all the way around. I mean, I can't think of a bad match that took place or even a bad storyline that took place in either the two brands performing at the Garden. I was definitely surprised that Julia lost the belt. So when I saw that, I was thinking, I'm glad you shed light on her, maybe being injured or Julia possibly being injured, and that being the case. Because I'm thinking she just got the belt. She hadn't even had a good reign yet as the champion. But I'm still not mad at Stephanie winning because she's also you could naturally see she has presence, she has talent. I mean, just her ability in the ring, all of it's already there. So to see her get the championship title, I'm not mad at it. Do I think there's opportunities now for other people such as Jada? I'm gonna keep pushing, Sol Ruka, because she's just kind of fallen to the wayside now, but that's still my girl, and I still like to see her, get a chance at least the North American Championship. But to get to Bounty and Ethan Page, that match, that was A1 banger. I mean, one of my favorite spots of that match was the double chairs, put together, and Ethan flips Javon off the top rope, and he lands right on the double chairs. Just savage. And I mean, they delivered, and it was another just banger of a match. So when you start going down the list, then you talk about the Hardy Boys and Fraxian. I mean, what can you say about that match? Great match, great tag team match. I do agree. It is to the point where all right, hey, I can't see TNA losing their title. I can't see NXT losing their title. So I do think a good storyline would be somebody losing their title and the other brand trying to get it back. I do think that's a thing. But the matches that they are giving us, phenomenal. I'm loving the crossover. And then you get down to my highlight of the night. You got Moose and you got Oba, the ruler. Ooh. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Just the man himself. Just love it. And he gets the bounce, D-Lo, the ruler bounce on the way to the ring. I mean, I love it. It had one of these old school feels of just two behemoths, two big men, two champions.
Two meaty guys
at it. And then Oba, the match they put together. Yes, two meaty guys.
No man, no water, just
mean. And that's how I felt about the match. Just Oba eating moose for dinner. Just mean. And it was just, it was good, man. I love it. And like I said, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because they were in Madison Square Garden that they felt like everybody had to take it up a notch, which is kind of how I felt from Raw to NXT. But those were two back-to-back great shows. I mean, great matches. I mean, if you don't believe it, go back and watch it yourself. And if you sleeping and missing NXT on the CW, you're missing great wrestling. Great wrestling and future wrestlers, of course, that you will see when they get to the main rosters, but you are missing out. You have to tune in to the CWs on Tuesday nights and check this stuff out, because Shawn Michaels down in NXT has been cooking for a while. Now, we always talk about, people going to NXT to watch the women wrestlers because they have such a phenomenal base of women talent and women wrestlers in NXT. But their top echelon of the men's, when you talk about Obafemi, you talk about Ethan Page, you talk about Trick Williams, and now I'm assuming at some point Ricky Saints will be in that mix. They have so much talent in NXT and so many good matches that they put on in NXT and good storylines that go on in NXT. And you're missing out if you're not tuning in on Tuesday nights, because that's probably one of my favorite nights of wrestling to watch is NXT. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because they're not these big names, big household names and stuff like that. But something about it just feels that homegrown, small, I don't know. It's a feeling that I get when I watch NXT, and I just enjoy it. And Booker T being on there
Yeah.
I mean, I love that too. It just, the stuff
Yeah,
he
man.
says,
Yeah.
I find myself just tripping off of some of the stuff he says. But
Yeah.
hey, NXT has been cooking and it's been good. So yeah.
Oh God, Booker
I
T
agree
is a
with you, though.
masterpiece.
T is
I
that
agree
dude.
with you.
Just
Just
me.
me. He was doing that on I don't know if y'all been watching
yeah.
Legends and Future Greats, because he's a coach on there, and he said that for one of his guys. He said, "No bread, no water, just me."
Just mean. Yeah.
I said, man, this guy's crazy.
Hey,
This guy's crazy.
hey,
But yeah, man,
Booker's
I
getting it.
feel you. I feel you about
Yeah.
NXT, man. It's something about it. It's like that film. I think it was just like it's something to get. It always made me feel like it was like an indie kind of. It was like it's like a real small homegrown indie
Yeah.
wrestling kind of thing. And it's kind of crazy because I was on Tubi, watching Evolve, and I was like, oh shoot, they got NXT on here, and lo and behold, they got the best years of NXT. So if y'all want to see NXT, they got it from 2014 all the way, I believe, from 2024. So if you want to see NXT when it was at its greatest, watch it from 2014 to 2019. Times when you see Adam Cole, Keith Lee, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, okay, Dakota Kai when she was getting her arms and her legs just disabled, okay, by Shayna Baszler. Those great men, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Come on. Like these were great. These were greats. The
Finn Balor and
Undisputed
Samoa
Era.
Joe.
Come on now.
The Undisputed Era. Yeah. Keith Lee and Dijakovic.
Come on.
Yeah.
Breezango. All these guys.
You can go. I mean,
the
there's
revival.
Some of the most memorable matches are NXT matches that, when you think back in the past, I'm 100%. You got what? Bianca
Sasha
Belair
versus Bailey.
I'm sorry, Sasha versus Bailey. That's a
man.
phenomenal
2015,
match.
man. Brooklyn.
2015. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that set it off for the women's division down there. Like,
I mean, NXT is the greatest. Well, it has been the greatest developmental company in wrestling history.
Yeah.
And then and you can, there's so many other places you can go back and say, oh, what about here? What about there? Over there, all that stuff. And a lot of greats come there. But what we've been able to see from a group of talent that has come pretty much, there's some of these people have only been in the ring 9 months. Like they talked about how these people come in 6 months, 9 months, and they just catch on these athletes that they went and pulled from NCAA, which you can't give WWE enough credit for going out there, getting NIL deals with these college athletes, saying, okay, this person has the look to be a WWE star, and being able to find that talent to see who can take those bumps, who can take whoever has the charisma, because they know that these athletes have to go through all that, and be able to find those people, then get them in there, and they're able to get going within 6 to 9 months. Some people take a little bit longer, but I know I can't remember who it was they were talking about, but they were talking about how like this one person was 9 it was like they were only 9 months, and then they were right in there getting them going. So that's the magic of NXT and the developmental program that the WWE has done. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Great job, everybody. Great job.
Yeah, they're mass producing. It's funny. I was talking to actually one of our subscribers the other day. I was like, I feel they're almost mass producing wrestlers in ways, because it's like, they got shows like, you got Evolved, you got Legends of Future Greats, which I think if anybody's watching Legends of Future Greats, I tell people pay attention to Booker T more than anybody, because what I say is with him, that man has got a connection to the Samoans. Why do I say that?
Yeah.
Because why? Because he's got a Samoan girl on his team. Okay. Why also? The man also had Zilla 5-2. Why? He also had the Usos. And also the man with the magic boots, Jacob 5-2. That man is connected to those Samoans. And look, I'm telling you, that's a guy that I tell people all the time, that is a man that is connected to not only just wrestling, those Samoans. And if you're connected to those Samoans, you're good for life, because we know Samoans right now, they are running wrestling. Yeah. And that's WWE. That's everything right now. I'm telling you, they running it. They running it.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Absolutely amazing.
All the way up to the final boss himself.
That's right. That's right. I'm telling you, the high chief, the final boss, the tribal chief. But we got to talk about what's going on with Smackdown, because that was just greatness in itself. So let's go ahead and talk about those 3 hours of fire itself with SmackDown. Now the real special one. A lot of things that happen with SmackDown. Talk about a few things. But the first things first, we got to talk about it. Because it was also another day of 3 hours of heat, 3 hours of fire, 3 hours of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better. Because, we going to start it off because we was talking about him earlier. We started it off with LA Knight. He came out. He was talking. Jim Uso comes out, says he wants to have his title shot. The one that happened Solo Tama Tonga, and the man with the magic boot himself comes out. They come and start attacking Jimmy and LA Knight. So what happens? Braun Strowman comes like, no. Now we have a 6-man title tag team match. And what happens? Oh, okay. Yeah, they still lose. But what happens? The man with the magic boot comes and he attacks Braun Strowman. I mean, goes crazy to the point he does so many freaking moonsaults and then even runs from the entrance ramp, hits him with a hip thrust right through the barricade. It was insane. Then we flash forward to Liv interrupting Jade. Now, first of all, I thought it was very heartfelt what Jade was saying. We understood she felt betrayed and all these things. And apparently the last thing she's seen was just Naomi running. And I mean, honestly, when you go back to the episode, when they found out that Jay got attacked, I mean, I can see why she found out or knew immediately it was Naomi. I mean, the bright light green, I mean, I would immediately know that was Naomi that did it myself. But at the same time, I thought it was hilarious seeing just Liv Morgan, just the whole, I honestly, I actually am to the point where I'm like, man, I love seeing Liv play this heel character. We've talked about this so many times, that she has grown so much to be such a great heel, and it really works for her. And it's great. But apparently we're going to be seeing Jade and Liv next week on SmackDown. We'll see how that goes. Then we flash forward to B-Fab and Charlotte Flair having a match. Now, honestly, B-Fab had a great promo. She said something in Spanish. I said, okay, got the crowd hype. And by the way, that crowd in Barcelona, probably one of the best crowds I've heard in a long time. America, y'all need to step it up. Because honestly, I'm okay with us just going. I'm okay with WWE going to the European crowds. Because if the crowd sounds like this every time, I'm for it. Let's keep it going. But, Charlotte Flair beats B-Fab, and Tippy Tom comes out. It's a moonsault right from the top rope, outside from the ring. Then does it again on top of the stage. It was crazy. And honestly, this is looking good for Tiffy Time. Honestly, I think now we are seeing that it might be truly Tiffy's time. Then we flash forward to Cody Rhodes again. Now, this is what happened. Miz TV was trying to start up, and of course that gets interrupted because of Tiffy Time. And then all of a sudden now Cody Rhodes comes out, and now the Miz interrupts Cody Rhodes in between. You're about to say the whoa, you don't do that. And you know what happens? Cody Rhodes gets pissed off, hits the Miz with a crossroads. And that's about it. At that point, he just says he just wants John Cena again. So we'll just see what happens tomorrow afternoon on Raw. We flash forward to Damian Priest has a match with Shinsuke. But, of course, that gets interrupted because Drew McIntyre comes out. And, I mean, he puts a hell of a beat. Now, of course, just like we was talking about, I wonder where this goes with their storyline and how this will intertwine with Cody's storyline. So then we flash forward to Paul Heyman, how he says it's Roman Reigns Day because, WWE 2K25 came out, and who else to better have on that cover than the OTC, the YTC, the only tribal chief on that cover. And he says it's not Seth Rollins Day, it's not CM Punk's Day, but it's truly only Roman Reigns Day. And he says that he will be back next Friday on SmackDown. We flash forward to one of the best parts of the night. It's the Street Profits and DIY, baby. Funny thing is, I remember talking about this on the third episode when they had that ladder match, and we talked about them having a title match opportunity facing the Bloodline. But now to see these men, to see the Prophets finally, and I ain't talking The Rock when I say finally, to see the Street Profits actually win the gold and to win it all, finally. Now, to say that I called it, I would just be saying that's a little too far, because I did say I wanted to see them winning at WrestleMania, but to see them win this now, I love it. And honestly, I still think we're going to see a Fatal 4 or Fatal 5-way tag team match at WrestleMania. And what do I think the end result will be? Oh, it's going to still be the Street Profits defending those titles and retaining those titles and continuing to have a long title reign. Because I promise you, for these men to not have the titles in 4 years, 4 years and 2 months to be specific, I don't see these men losing these titles anytime soon. These men will elevate this tag division like they've been doing since they came back, and I think it's going to be even better, baby. So I just love to see the Street Profits get this dub, and to see my man Montez and to see my man Dogs get that dub. What are y'all thoughts, and what y'all think, man?
Well, there's a lot there to unpack, and I see a comment here from Sosa Cartier that I don't like. It's the Tiffany is kind of mid. He called Tiffany mid. Tiffy time. Yeah. Hey, no, seriously. I loved what happened with Tiffy and with Charlotte Flair. I think that was great. I think it was necessary because we've been wondering for a while now about this match. Like, why of all people would Charlotte choose Tiffy? Because she just won the title. We've wanted to let her get her legs up under her. Can she have a presence when it comes to being in the ring with Charlotte? When you're looking at the two of them, I mean, it's obvious the Queen is always going to be championship caliber material. Well, let's just be real, okay? But Tiffy, it's like an Io Sky type of thing. She's standing in the ring with two behemoths. You got Rhea Ripley and you have Bianca Belair. We know they've been there, done it. They've been champions. So has Io, but we know the bigger stars are those two. Same thing when it comes to Charlotte. So now we're like, all right, is Tiffy going to be able to elevate? Is she going to be able to show that she has that, that dog in her to do what needs to be done against Charlotte to actually put on a good match and actually be able to retain the title? And I think we got shades of our answer on Monday. The fact that they kept going at it and they kept delivering time and time again, love it. And I truly believe that it is exactly Tiffy time. Can I get my watch? It is
get your watch
time.
So really want to see Charlotte win. That's crazy.
No, I mean, because for me, the next time, I've said this before, the next time I see Charlotte win the belt, I need it to be a Roman Reigns type of title reign. Because of the fact she's had it 14 times. Make the 15th time an actual long title reign, because the reason she got the 14 is because most of her title wins was I lost to Sasha Banks at the pay-per-view, and then I won the title back on Monday Night Raw.
Bad times right there.
And so, she's got about 6 or 7 title reigns that that were very either short-lived, and so it bloated the number. So I want to see somebody young like a Tiffy, carry the women's division for Thursday night SmackDown at least for a minute. And so I will. What is that?
Damn, she won it 14 times.
Hey, Cardi, she was getting it in. She was getting it in.
5 of them at least against Sasha.
Yeah,
at least 5
of them at least against Sasha, and they were like
in a month.
Like I said,
within 2 to 3 weeks.
They were changing titles in a 2 to 3 week span. But I hate to see Charlotte lose on such a big stage, but I think it's necessary. It's best for business. And then we're gonna cut right through all of the other BS. Not saying that it wasn't good, but we've been touting the Street Profits for months, for years now. Like, hey, why ain't the Street Profits getting the credit that they deserve? Why, the why aren't the Street Profits getting the title shots that they deserve? We've been asking. What is the Street Profits missing that the Motor City Machine Guns can walk right in and get a title shot and win?
Crazy,
that type of thing. And so to see this happen, I actually don't even like it, if I'm being real, because Street Profits, I've thought if they're going to win the titles, this should have been done on the biggest stage in front of the biggest crowd at one of the biggest moments and the biggest times. And it should have been held off until WrestleMania, because DIY could have carried the titles for another 2 to 3 weeks, whatever, because WrestleMania is right around the corner, however it would have 40 days, whatever it is. I don't know. But they could have carried the titles to the end and let the Street Profits get the major payoff. They want the smoke. Give them the smoke at WrestleMania and then let them smoke the finest air there. But, they're going into WrestleMania as the champions. Fine. We got what we want in a sense that they are champions. I just wanted to see them do it at a bigger time and a bigger stage. That's my only gripe about this. Not saying that them winning on Friday SmackDown wasn't, a good thing or whatever. Just it could have been done at a better time. But what I am excited about, though, is that it is going to be a hell of a tag team title match coming into WrestleMania, because I'm sure DIY is going to want their get back. You got Pretty Deadly that has come on strong these last few months. So you got them there. And so I don't know exactly how this is all going to shape up. But at the end of the day, we know that the Street Profits are always up. And so they're going to be on top when it comes to WrestleMania. And I see them having a good, long title reign until we can get another, Pretty Deadly's on the rise. But I think once we can get another true,
they still got Garza and Humberto too.
You got them. Hey, American Made's got to be in there. So they could really have a really good tag team, with multiple tag teams vying for the championship at WrestleMania. And I would like to see that. And I would also like for it to be some type of tables, ladders, chair type of match, So
chaos. You want chaos?
I want chaos.
Gotta do it in Vegas. Gotta do it in Vegas.
But I'm sorry, I can go on and on and on about the Street Profits. I was so happy for them, but at the same time, my biggest gripe was, why couldn't they say this to Mania?
No, I know. I said the same thing, man. I said the same thing.
Yeah, I felt that. I would have
lost my mind at Mania if that they did that at Mania. Yeah,
that was my biggest thing. I think that was my biggest complaint, is because Mania, like Eric, you've been talking about it strongly at least the last 5. I know you talk about it longer than that, but the last 4 or 5 episodes, you have really honed in about the Street Profits and then winning the title. You said, hey, they're going to win it. It's going to happen. This is what's the deal. This is what the deal is. And I agree 100% with HP Prince. This is a WrestleMania moment. This should have been all the vignettes, all that stuff leading up to it. This should have been a WrestleMania moment for them.
Yeah.
The only thing that I do like about the fact that they won it on SmackDown is that they made it the main event and they got to celebrate last. They were the main attraction that night. It was all about them at the end of the day. They're the champions. You don't have to worry about Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins or whoever else, or Kevin Owens or Randy Orton stealing your thunder. This was your night. You won it. Big situation, big crowd, big energy crowd on top of that. So that's the only thing that I said, all right, I'll let that fly because of that. But they should have been winning those titles at Mania. That's the only thing that I only complaint I have. But the other thing I will say about this is we've talked about, different titles in the industry not having, prestige or not being long. This title has only been around 6 months, technically 6-7 months, maybe 8 or 9 months now. They've had too many title changes already. They need a group to grab these titles and have a 6 to 9 month reign. That has to happen. They've got to stop switching titles every 5 minutes just to get that social media. Oh, look who's the new champion. I don't want everybody in my division to at least have the title at least one time. Make it worth something. Make somebody have to go out, because we all know Pretty Deadly is probably the next one to get it, and they'll probably get it at SummerSlam. I don't want that. Make somebody work hard for it. Make somebody work hard for it. That's the problem that we have. And then you go and you look at Raw, they don't have they've got good tag teams, but it doesn't feel good right now. Like they don't have like SmackDown's tag team division feels great.
Right.
Yeah.
Raw's doesn't
Raw
feel
needs
good.
work.
Raw needs work. NXT has a better tag team division
They
than Raw right now.
They do.
You know, and to me, and I know this is a little bit out, give New Day the title.
Yeah.
Give New Day the title because I'm telling you right now,
they're on fire. They are on fire.
I wish they changed their name to Bad Day.
Bad Day, bad day, baby. It's a bad day.
It's a bad day. Yes, it is.
It makes kudos. Yes. I agree with you 100. The Prince is calling it right on the bat. That's what they need to happen. I think that's kind of like the flux that they're in there. But they still can fix all of that. Talk about Jade a little bit. You know, Jade interview with the interview
Kelly.
that she was having, and Kelly, and then Liv. Hey, first of all, I love Liv, but Liv is so irritating. She pissed me off when she came out there and she does the little laugh. I said, you trifling. I said, you let that girl be. She going through a lot. You let us go through all these months making it feel like it was us. Like, how did she make you feel like it was y'all? She wasn't even there. Yeah. You mad at the wrong person.
You said nothing at all.
You said nothing. I guess.
She is right. And what she is right.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me. There's two things from this. I think we're gonna get a chance to see what Jade or her progress. If she's really been out injured or they were working on some things, we're gonna see how, because now this is the time. They've had her whole year as a tag team partner. From this point on, I don't see the tag team thing happen as much. This is gonna be her singles run. Next week is gonna be very critical to see how it's going to be the setting point for her between now and forever at this point. How they're going to work her. How is she going to be the Goldberg type? Or is she able to be able to kind of run things the way, you may see other wrestlers? Can she work for a 5 or 6 minute, a 10-minute match? We're going to see all of that on the WWE level. We've seen it on AEW, but on the WWE level, because she worked that 10 to 15-minute match. So that'll be an interesting match for me next week. But the other part is, and I said this in the group chat, what if we're all wrong? What if we're all wrong and somehow, some way, Jade and Naomi are in on this the whole time? And we thought, because here's the thing. They don't want Bianca to go. There's a part of me that feels like they don't want Bianca to go heel, because she's like what Cena is, or what, with those wrestlers that have been so popular at times. What if that's the switch? They're playing mind games with her. And then, that cost them the title at WrestleMania. I just want to throw that nugget in there for, just to have it in there. So I don't be surprised, because I feel like this storyline is going to have a major flip. We saw the little Asuka post a couple weeks ago where Asuka was like, "Oh, was it me? Or did I do it? Or whoever else? Or was I involved?" Like those types of things. Yeah. So that's my thing. Like, just be aware. Like I feel like Naomi was working with somebody, and everybody wants to think it's Bianca. But don't be surprised if it might have just been Jade as a setup. And so I just wanted to throw that in there just to say it was out in the air. Now, everything else with SmackDown was absolutely great. Loved it. I don't agree that Tiffy is mid. I just think that
Tiffany a little better than mid.
She's not mid, but it's going to be critical for her to win this match at WrestleMania, because they have to elevate her. And they have to elevate new stars. I also agree with you with, when Charlotte does win, we talking about a year. We're talking about a hot minute that she needs to hold on to that title, because the prestige has to be extremely important with these belts. So I think that's what one thing we miss in today's, and probably this has been going on for 25 years, but what we miss from the early 2000s to now, these switching the belts. No. It's okay to do it occasionally, to have maybe a title or two, but not all your titles, and then maybe one or two are just long range belts. No, you got to kind of work it, man. Build something, y'all. So, SmackDown was great. That's me ranting, but SmackDown was great.
And I want to hit on something Sosa said that I do actually agree with. American Made, they have grown on me too, and they actually are. They may not be ready yet as far as mic skills, like they don't really get on there and talk much or whatever. But in the ring, they are.
They can go.
They can go.
Yeah,
very athletic, dudes. Like they can really go. So that's why I'm excited if they could do a good tag team match, to have something between American Made, Pretty Deadly, DIY, and the Street Profits. That would be a match. Like I said, now I want chaos. I want tables, ladders, and chairs. I want the belts to be above the ring. You got to climb to get them. I want that type of match for that specific title shot there. And I'm for it, and I hope they get it in. And I hope they do it for WrestleMania. But of course that's going to be up to Triple H. So
yeah, you know how that goes.
You know how that goes. It's all about the game and how you play it.
All about it.
He's in control.
It's so crazy.
Shout out to Lemmy.
Shout out Triple H, man. They were playing a little nostalgia clip of like Triple H, because the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And just seeing that, it takes you back to times when you were a kid and you were watching something.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. I remember that happening. Dang, it's been this long since we've seen him like in the ring and in that type of form,
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that, man, that you just start thinking back and you're like, man, those were some golden years, like him and Shawn Michaels, fussing in the ring. And they were Triple H. He had a phenomenal career, especially because I remember him being Hunter Hearst Helmsley. The first time out. Yeah, he used to get in the ring and do the little bow and all that stuff. Yeah,
and had the music.
Yes.
My dad playing Beethoven,
and then my man flipped the script and he became the game. It was
Triple H.
Man, some of his intros to pay-per-views were phenomenal. Fire. Yeah, they were fire. I mean, he killed it. He killed it.
He's really had a career that, like, if you just start, like you said, watch from the beginning and the transformations. And he's been able to pretty much kill everything that he's done. Authority figure, non-authority figure, badass Triple H, good guy Triple H for the little bit of time that he was a good guy. Evolution Triple H, it's just
my favorite.
People, that's my dude. I ain't gonna lie to you. Evolution. That's my theme song.
Clean face Triple H.
That's the ringtone for everybody in the group. But shout out to Triple H, man, because like people, I think that sometimes he's underappreciated because people, you see The Rock, you see Stone Cold, you see those people from that era, but he's pretty much been a stalwart between the 1994-ish to now. Like he's been like a figurehead in the company since then. I don't know, it's just really, sometimes I don't think we appreciate the talent,
the amount of work,
and the cerebral assassin. He's got the nickname for a reason. I think sometimes we don't appreciate it, and he deserves to get in the Hall of Fame. All the people that want to be like, oh, he got in. I guess it's nice to put yourself in, but let's put the fact that he's there out the way. Yeah. The guy is a Hall of Famer.
He earned it.
You can say what he wants.
You can't. You can't say that man has never given you class.
Right. Yeah. You want him to wait till he's dead in order to be inducted in the Hall of Fame? Why does he deserve that?
Yeah.
So no, I'm so glad he's getting there
behind the scenes
and still doing it behind the scenes. He's been amazing, man. I mean, they've got a solid Hall of Fame class coming up here. I mean, I like who they got in so far. Shout out to Lex Luger. I never thought I'd say that, but shout out to Lex Luger and the Lex Express, baby. But it's cool to see him get in. Shout out to DDP for all the things he's doing for him. It's just, the natural disasters. I believe I'm 100%. I think the natural disasters are in, and people sleep on typhoon and earthquake, baby, because back in the day, look, they come out there, you hear, when your theme music is, and it's the earthquake noise. Former tag team champ. Shout out to him.
So quick, I know we about to wrap it up. So before we do though, I need just off top of your head, quick. I say top 3. I hate saying top because you're gonna miss somebody. They go, whoa, you really think about it, but just off the top of your head, top 3 wrestlers that had some of the like best change-ups, like and their characters work that you can think of. The top 3 to come to your head. I can give you 3.
Oh, I can give you 3.
I got a question. So is it like just a person, or do you have to tell what the character switch was, or you know what I'm saying?
It don't matter. Either or.
Okay.
Whichever one rings to you. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I don't want to go first. I got one in my head off top, but
okay.
You go.
For me, one of my favorites, I would probably say, and I've talked about this before, Seth Rollins going as the Monday Night Messiah. I think that whole build-up when we took out Rey Mysterio and he got Buddy Murphy and then he had Austin Theory when he was the Monday Night Messiah. My God, that worked. I mean, coming out with the black jacket, he had the whole like the entrance thing, the dum 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 dum. He went crazy. That is probably one of my favorites. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. What y'all got?
I got Mankind, of course.
Okay.
Nick Foley.
Okay.
I got his switch ups because he made multiple characters work. I used to be afraid, little Nighthead, when I was a kid, and I first saw Mankind. I was afraid of him. I remember him. He used to make this little noise, and he's like, "What? What?" And it was this loud noise, and he would be pulling out his hair. And I used to be like, "Oh," and he would be hitting himself in the head and everything. Like, this dude is scary. And when he was going against the Undertaker and their feuds, I used to be afraid of Mankind. Yeah. And then to see him switch to something like "Do Love," you got the Rock and Sock connection. You have, Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack. Yeah.
Like all of the different characters that he had, and they worked phenomenal. Another one that came out when we talked about it, kind of cheap because we just talked about it, but was Triple H going from Hunter Hearst Helmsley to the Game. Yeah. But another one, and I think this is the easy one that we probably would all have, and that would be Y2J. Like,
okay. So
that man can.
I had him on my list.
Anything.
Yes, he can do anything, and it can work. This man made a list work. Just a saying of the list.
He made that Jericho was on my list.
Yeah,
literally on my list.
Made the list.
You just make a list. Yeah, I agree, man. I think for me, it's definitely Seth Rollins. Chris Jericho, I mean, that man changed up anything and everything he did, especially when it came to, honestly, for me, I think it definitely was Scarf Chris Jericho 2016.
Yeah.
It was definitely putting everybody on the list.
Stupid idiot.
I almost could have went with the Learning Tree right now.
Yeah.
Because even the Learning Tree we're doing right now in AEW, I'm loving it because it's still kind of that mix of that, but it's him hitting the little "hi guys," like that whole thing. It's crazy. And the Bad Apple, I'm loving that.
Yep.
But I would definitely have to say that. And then honestly,
it's tough. It's really tough. You missed somebody.
If I have to go with one more, because this is really a hard one. I'm kind of stuck between two. I'm stuck between two. One of them I would have to say Bray Wyatt's transition to the Fiend.
Yes,
that was Bray's also on my list.
Yeah, I think his transition to the Fiend was one of those most iconic moments where it was like, all right, this was different. And honestly, I'd have to say it. The Rock, the final boss. I think that transition was crazy.
Yes.
Do I want to see him do more as a heel? Like, if we're talking 2024 final boss.
Yeah. That was an excellent run.
Yes.
That run
that's the final
legendary.
boss I want.
Yeah.
Like kind of full on. But yeah, those are the three: Seth, Chris Jericho, Bray, and The Rock.
See, that's tough because y'all named pretty much. All right, so I had Jericho, and Jericho is basically because of the great work he did with the list, but he's also one of those guys that can go from heel to face and a turn, and you're good either way. Like not everybody can do that. And there's a part of me that would love to have thrown Randy Orton there, but I still feel like he's just a better heel, so I'm not going to do that. Bray Wyatt, of course, is Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt has done so much. It's hard to like his, for him jumping when he was like going from the Fiend and he was going back to "Hi everybody, Bray Wyatt," and run. I mean, all of it was just greatness. So I got a couple of smooth ones for you. So one. And it's just one transition, but I always love that Mark Henry was able to go from sexual chocolate to the Hall of Pain.
I mean, because
we're talking about they gave birth to a hand.
Yeah.
And, shout out to Mae Young, the greatest. I'm sorry, Mae Young might be the GOAT. She took bumps at 80. Not a lot of people, not a women taking bumps through 80, going through tables and stuff. So Mark, I always thought that was a really good transition for Mark Henry. I thought he was absolutely just phenomenal. But the one that I'm going to the women's side on this one.
I was thinking about it too. I was wondering.
Timeless.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing. I know it's recent, but if you go back and watch what she's done just in the last year, that little whole having the amnesia thing, and then going back into that, and then going back into the character, she has excelled. As to me, I know a lot of people may not. To me, she's the best wrestler in the world right now, and I don't care. Maybe not. And what I mean by that, she has it all.
She has it all. She has
the complete package of what you want in a wrestler. She can talk. She's good in the ring. She can sell. She got everything that you want. She has that. So for me, I think she's right there. Yeah. I think what she's been able to do has just been absolutely. And to be honest with you, she's the only reason why I peek at AEW. I'll look at the highlights and stuff.
Yeah.
But if she's on, I'm like, all right, that's my girl. I'm going to go watch what she's got going on. So those would be my three. I feel like I had another one in there, but those are my three. I think y'all named a couple of them, so I'll let those fly.
I'll let those fly. Sosa been dropping some bombs in here too. He got Hall of Pain Henry. He got Y2J. He got Captain Charisma. He got Hollywood. He got Hogan to Hollywood Hogan.
Hogan to Hollywood Hogan is tough.
Hollywood
suckers.
So I'll give one more, and I mean it's probably not huge, but it was cool, and that was All Hail King Booker.
Hey, Booker T was a straight, like, for him to switch it up, because he's always been, Booker T's always been thug. And then when he would have those moments when he would have those moments where he was trying to be Buckeye, and then he would something happen. He would, oh hell no, man! Like he would switch up in the middle. That's what made Booker King Booker was my dude, man. I got the poster. I got the poster right here on the wall from the 2000. This is the 2007 No Mercy, where he's sitting on there with the belt. And Queen Sharmell is on his side like this. Yeah. I got it at a Hooters pay-per-view. Shout out to Hooters. Rest in peace. I know y'all going bankrupt, but a lot of wrestling events we watch at Hooters, and that's exactly where I got that bad boy from. I had it for years, man.
Yeah, all hail King Booker.
Oh hell!
And you know what else? I don't know why I didn't think about it, but one also honorable mention we got to talk about is Roman Reigns. Honestly, that transition from the big dog to the tribal chief, man, talk about a run.
The change was successful when you got everybody putting up the one. Like, I mean,
when people see a shirt, people see that, it's just
people were waiting for that. People have been waiting to embrace him. It's the WWE that took so long to do it. Like, everybody knew he was a heel. Like, he was supposed to be a heel. And they just waited so long to pull the trigger. Yeah. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, why are you taking so long to pull the trigger? Why?
Wasting years.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It was. But we talked about a lot that happened this week. We talked about 3 hours of 5 on Monday Night Raw with the OTC coming back, going crazy. We talked about those storylines going on with that. We talked about NXT. And MSG going crazy with Shawn Michaels cooking up as always. And we also talked about Friday Night Smackdown with the man of the magic boot with Charlotte Flair, Tiffy Tom, Street Profits finally getting the gold. But we do wish it was still at WrestleMania. But we'll see what happens with that. And of course, we got to talk. One thing we love talking about was just some of our favorite transitions. And I ain't gonna lie, that one threw me off for a little because all the transitions we've seen with some wrestlers, either they work or they don't. Last transition I'll throw in was Bayley. She went from the happy to the role model.
That one hurt. That one kind of hurt my feelings because I thought that the heel turn would be. It's still good. Don't get me wrong. Bayley's great, but we had a vision for what that should have been, but it is what it is, and she's still great. Bayley's still great. She's still
I
great.
hope she brings
always-
back I hope she brings back the original Happy Bailey one more time before she's done.
Yeah,
Because
Roxanne
when
had
Roxanne came out there a couple weeks ago, it made me think. I
brought it
missed that. I missed that song. I missed Bailey coming out to it. I missed seeing the little blow up inflatables.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
different, man. It was a good
man,
time.
yeah.
It was a good time.
Different time. But as always, please make sure y'all follow us on all of our social medias. Oh yeah, that's right. We active. We on all of them: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and also on TikTok. That's right. We're on all those social medias. And again, what we strive to do is to make sure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best that ever will be.
Yes,
And we
right.
always strive to be the greatest things that ever can be walking on this earth. And to make sure and to ensure that your nights will never
Never
be the same
same.
again.
Peace.